Welcome to your channel that teaches you corporate English every day.
This is a video call between a marketing analyst and a client who owns a unisex streetwear clothing store. The client wants to change the visual identity of the brand on social media because the current feed feels messy and not professional. The analyst will collect deeper information before building a new identity direction. The client is cooperative, but she questions decisions politely to make sure the work has logic behind it.
Hi, thank you for joining the call today. Before I start asking deeper questions, I want to understand something simple first. When you say your feed feels messy, what exactly do you mean? Is it the colors, the composition, the photos, or the overall impression?
I think it's the overall impression. I look at the feed and it feels like posts don't belong together. There's no identity.
So the problem is not one element, it is inconsistency as a whole.
Yes, exactly.
And when you look at other brands that you respect, what do they make you feel that your brand does not?
They look clean, strong, intentional. My feed looks accidental.
That is a very good word. Accidental. Do you want the new identity to feel more planned and curated? Not random?
Yes.
Good. Now I want to talk about your audience. Who do you want to attract with this identity? People who care about design and aesthetics? Or general streetwear buyers who just want clothes?
People who care about style, not just cheap buyers.
So we are not talking to people who buy only for price. We are talking to people who buy for identity and taste.
Yes.
And do you want your visual identity to feel premium and serious? Or do you want it still to feel urban and casual, or something in between?
Serious but urban. I don't want it playful.
Perfect. Serious and urban. Not playful. Now, let me ask about your comfort level with minimalism. Some strong streetwear brands use very minimal, low-noise layouts to create a premium look. Other brands use graphic intensity, still organized but louder. Which one is closer to what you imagine for your brand?
I'm afraid of minimal because sometimes minimal looks empty, but I also hate noise. So I don't know.
That is a reasonable concern. You don't want it to feel empty or boring, but you also don't want chaos. One option could be controlled boldness, meaning strong and present elements, but with strict organization so they don't fight with each other. Does that idea make sense?
Yes, but only if it really looks organized. Not fake organized.
Of course. Now another question. Do you want the brand to show lifestyle photos of people wearing the clothes? Or do you prefer more product-only compositions?
Lifestyle is important, but I don't like random selfies. It needs to look crafted.
So lifestyle, but styled and intentional. Not casual pictures from customers.
Exactly.
And are you open to adding text elements over images? Short lines, maybe call-outs, or you want images to speak alone?
I like some text, but in a subtle and controlled way. Not big, loud blocks.
And when it comes to color behavior, today your feed mixes many colors. Do you want a strict neutral base and just one accent color? Or do you want multiple accents, but in a controlled system?
I want neutral base. If there is accent, it must be consistent. Not different color every week.
Perfect. Now I want to address structure. One reason many feeds feel cheap is not the color or the font. It is the grid logic. Without a fixed system, every post is an independent decision. With a system, every post belongs to a pattern. Do you want the new identity to include a visual posting system, not just posts?
Yes, but only if that system doesn't make every post look identical.
Of course, a system is not repetition, it is rules. Rules that make things belong to the same world without being clones. One strong option is to define rules for margins, typography proportions, background behavior, and photo framing. When those four things are fixed, identity appears even if the content changes. Would that approach make you feel more secure?
Yes, but I need to understand how that actually looks before I commit.
You will. I will not ask you to trust the idea. I will show it visually so you can judge.
Good, because I don't accept vague promises.
Analyst. And that is correct. Identity should not be a promise. It should be visible.
Exactly.
Before I explain the conceptual side later, I still need a few more clarifications for the briefing. Let me ask about frequency. Do you plan to post frequently, like daily, or do you prefer fewer but very well-designed posts?
I prefer fewer but better. Daily posting is not important if it looks cheap.
So, quality over volume, and consistency without excess.
Yes,
Do you plan to run paid ads using these new visuals? Or is this identity only for organic content?
both. I want paid and organic to match.
Then we also need to design assets that work under ad guidelines, meaning text placement needs to be readable, safe zones need to exist, and visuals must perform in multiple formats, not only square. Are you okay if I design with multi-format logic in mind?
Yes, but I want to see logic for each choice, not just because it's best practice.
You will see the logic. I never apply rules without naming the reason.
Good.
Another point. Do you want the brand voice to include captions that are serious and direct? Or do you want short, minimal captions with almost no text?
Serious and direct, but short. I don't like friendly talk.
Understood. So, tone of voice is not playful, not cute, and not exaggerated. More like low emotion, confident, objective.
Yes,
Now I want to talk about future-proofing. Are you planning to expand the brand, create a website, or collaborate with influencers later? Because that affects how flexible the identity must be.
I do plan to expand into a website soon.
Then the identity must be consistent across platforms, not only social. That means we create a core system, not a feed style. Do you agree that identity must survive outside Instagram?
Yes, I agree.
Excellent. That finishes the briefing phase. Now I will move to the conceptual explanation so you understand what we are actually building. Not in design language, but in simple logic. Before I continue, do you have any questions before we shift to that?
Yes, one question. How can we be sure that a new identity will actually help sales and not just make the profile look pretty?
Great question. A strong identity does not sell by decoration. It sells by perception. In streetwear, people do not only buy fabric, they buy belonging. When your feed looks accidental, the brain registers, "This brand is not serious. I can find something better." When the identity looks intentional and controlled, the brain assumes, "This brand knows what it is doing." Higher value, more trust. Selling in this market is psychological before it is visual.
That explanation makes sense, but I still want proof that design changes behavior.
Fair. Think of it this way. If two stores sell similar black hoodies at the same price, but one communicates authority, structure, and taste, and the other looks like a random reseller, which one do you assume has better product? even before touching it.
The one with better identity.
Exactly. Design is not beauty. Design is pre-decision influence. It frames value before the product is even evaluated.
That I can agree with.
Analyst, good. Now, conceptually, identity has three jobs. It removes doubt. It raises perceived value. It gives memory to the brand. Right now, your brand has none of those three. The new system will work to install those three pillars visually.
And how exactly do you install that visually?
Through controlled repetition of chosen rules, humans trust what is consistent, not what is beautiful. When the same logic repeats across posts, the brain identifies arrow pattern, creates familiarity, arrow familiarity creates trust, arrow trust creates easier purchase. It is not aesthetic first, it is cognitive.
That is a solid explanation.
And here is the key. Consistency is not sameness. Consistency is rule-based variation. If we build rules for color base, typography behavior, margin system, and photo treatment, the audience will feel identity even when content changes. That is how premium brands behave.
So the identity is the rules, not the individual posts.
Exactly. Posts are the output. The identity is the operating system.
I like that definition.
Based on what we discussed, I see two viable strategy directions for you. I will describe them simply. Direction 1. Precision urban. Dark neutral base, sharp typography, strict spacing rules, lifestyle and product balanced, low noise, strict discipline. This direction communicates control, maturity, and premium taste. Direction 2. Structured energy. Also dark base, but with controlled graphic accents. Movement in some layouts, still organized by grid, slightly more expressive but never chaotic. This direction keeps some edge without losing authority.
Before you ask, I prefer direction 1. I suspected that from your answers, but I needed you to hear both options to choose consciously. Direction 1 fits your serious urban premium goal perfectly. Yes, it does. Good. In the next step, I will build a first visual draft of Direction 1 so you can see how the system behaves in real posts before we finalize rules. After you approve direction, we design the full identity kit and then templates. That sounds structured and clear?
Excellent. That concludes this call. I will prepare the first direction and send it for your review.
Thank you. This was very clear and helpful.
My pleasure. Talk soon.